check off these boxes. I know the old me couldn't have you.
All right, welcome to the Right Here, Right Now podcast. I am your host, Demir Wright, and each week we dive deep into powerful stories, insights to help you heal right here and right now. Right here and right now, we have one of the most musically gifted people that I know personally, and it's crazy. We just found out that we live super close, so this was like super random, and I'm just really glad to have him here. One of the most incredible singers. I'm talking about the one and only TJ McCarty in the building, bro. Bro, it's been a long time coming, bro, to just link, you know?
Yeah.
And speaking of a long time coming, bro, let's like bring it back to like the intro, you know, to our lives, you know what I mean, coming in close. I think it was like, I don't even know when we were in school. It was like 2000 and like
minute ago. 2019
maybe?
Yeah.
2019? All right, so we going to a JC at the time. Shout out DVC.
Yep.
And we took a songwriting class.
Yep.
I don't know what the initial meeting was, bro, but I definitely remember you in that class, bro. This motherfucker's voice is very distinctive. You know what I mean? It's like an echo chamber. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't need no reverb needed, bro. His shit gonna bounce off the walls, bro. So it was dope. How was that experience like? Cause like I feel like that songwriting class was it. It was it. It was it. It was it. It was it.
It was fun, man. That was really my first time actually writing my own stuff. Like I've always been like singing just around the house. I've been in choirs. I've been in high school, and but I never really thought of writing my own music at the time. I can't read music.
Wow.
I don't play the instruments, anything like that. I just sing.
Yeah, I got that instrument up here.
Right. And just grew up listening to a lot of good music. So that being in that class really opened my eyes to, oh, hey, like this is possible. This is something that you can do. And to have everybody in there who's already so talented.
Bro, that was crazy.
Everybody has their own superpowers with it, right? Like everybody has their own unique style, their own thing that they excel at within that space. So it made it really fun, just navigating it and finding out my superpower on the fly. Like I already knew I could sing other people's stuff.
Yeah.
But
it was like, wow, like making your own is like crazy.
Yeah, it's different. Translating your own, you know how it goes, translating your own thoughts, your own emotions, your own life experience into art that then in turn other people can relate to is like a crazy, when you first do it, it feels like you're discovering a superpower. So
it's crazy. I've actually never, you actually bring up a really cool question that I've never got to sit down with somebody and ask who does like sing. How was it like internalizing thoughts, right? And finally putting it down, meaning like, were you like, was it your own emotions? Were you trying to create a story? Were you trying to create a person? Were you going through something? What were those first, TJ songs like? What's the intro? What's the intro like?
Yeah, bro, I think the first song I ever recorded was a song, I don't even know if I recorded it, bro. The first song I ever wrote is a song called One and Only, bro. That's about the girl I was seeing at the time, you know what I mean? You know how it
always be like,
but that's kind of funny. But most of the time I write from my own experience, even starting then. A lot of times, like, for me at least, sometimes there are some songs that are like all pretty, for the most part, about one situation, but more often than not, like it's an amalgamation of things that I'm going through, like, within a month or within 6 months or within a year. But most of my own perspective. I have a couple songs too that are like, what if I were to do this? Stuff that didn't really happen, but there's only one or two songs in particular that I can think of where I'm like not writing about stuff that's actually happened or stuff that is inspired by things that I'm actually currently going through.
Bro, I'm for sure still stuck on the word amalgamation. That was incredible. Was that 4 syllables, my nigga? That was crazy. Amalgamation. That's 5 syllables, but that was.
Come on.
Hey, bro, I'm proud of you.
I'm a writer.
I'm proud of you.
We gotta know the big
Nah, that was crazy. Nah, so I guess my question is like, so with that being said, you started writing, and it was like, your first experience, writing about a female and singing about it and stuff. When was like the first time where you felt like this is a good song universally? Like, I feel like everyone could rock with this. I could finally stand behind it because like sometimes I'll be having trouble standing behind the bars, you know. And I think you've made a plethora of songs that I personally like. But what was the first time that you were able to enjoy a song and be like, you know what, I'm gonna show this to people. Not only am I gonna show it, I'm gonna perform it.
Yeah. Definitely linking with my homies. KP and Kaz, as a part of the Hive Mind, the group that I'm in. Our first song, Denim, that first song was, that was a trip because that was the first song I ever released. It was part of being a release on Apple Music, Spotify.
We're gonna link it.
That's right.
We're gonna link it at the bottom.
But yeah, that song, that was a trip just because. I really fuck with that song, and it helped too. I think being with other people, like being with collaborators who are like, or collaborators who who encourage you. You know, sometimes you can be by yourself in the lab, and you're like, damn, is this shit actually really good, or am I tripping, or like, is this shit actually trash? But you can be tripping off that too. You know what I mean? So to have that encouragement of working together with people for the first time was really cool. So I think Denim, that first song we made, but my favorite song from those sessions is August Nights, bro. That's the one where
that's banger.
I don't get tired of listening to that song ever, bro. The chord progression Kai laid down, the hook that I wrote, the way that you know, Kaz put his little dust all over the top of it and made it really complete. That's the one where I was like, nah, this song is like, nah, this could be out of here for sure.
Facts.
I still think, I'm like, bro, this is my favorite shit to this day.
I'm not gonna lie, one of my favorites is Still Ride. I'm not gonna lie, I be driving them, just ride. I was like, okay, I love that, bro. With the harmonies, right? That was fire, bro.
Well, and what makes it fun too is that it's funny because I don't necessarily like Ride as much, but a lot of people love that song.
Bro, it be like that sometimes.
Yeah, so it just kind of goes to show me like that was a huge lesson because we actually dropped those two songs at the same time.
Yep.
And a lot of people were like really fucking with Ride, and I was like, I guess nice.
Like, dang, but I really wanted that one to be the one.
But that just goes to show you like you should just drop. It's so funny, bro. We all say it all the time. Our vaults and our unreleased, songs are so like we all have a crazy vault. Yeah. But it just goes to show you should try and drop as much as you can because you never know what people are gonna resonate with. You never know. You could be wrong. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. But our job as an artist is to just make it. And I like to think too, something that helps me, like if I feel like I'm stuck on releasing specifically, if I'm not confident in it, it's like. My job is to just make the song and put it out, and once it's out, it doesn't belong to me anymore. You know what I mean? It belongs to everybody else, and whatever they want to do with it, they should have the right as a music listener to listen to it and do what they want with it, and I have to let them have that right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I like the sound of the progression that it sounds like from, okay, it's my baby, I'm going ahead and creating it, it's something that I enjoyed, something that I made, something that is my life experience, but then once you put it out there to the world, it is now almost the world's. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting to hear that. What was the creation of the Hive Mind? Why did you guys call it the Hive Mind? Were you a group before you got to that class? You know what I mean? I'm very intrigued on what that formation was like. How do you guys even know each other?
Yeah. We literally, just like you and I met, we met maybe a semester or two before.
Wow.
And, it was either the songwriting class or the music industry class. DVC's music program, as you know, is fire.
Juggernaut.
Yeah. It's like in our own backyard, bro. So super. Shout out to everybody, all the professors. Shout out John. Yeah, John and Michael Axon.
And Mike,
Dr. Terrence Elliott, bro. That's my guy. That's my
guy. I don't think I had him.
You would love him, bro. Yeah, we had the same. Our first name was both Terrence, bro. I was like, that's my guy, automatically, bro. Yeah, man. But the formation of the Hive Mind, So I honestly love this story because I met Zach in one class and I met Kai in another. I met Zach in the industry class. I met Kai in the songwriting class. So I knew them independently of each other. And yeah, man, my first time meeting Zach, at the end of the semester in the industry class, the final is just to make a collaborative project with someone, whether that's like, you know, presenting like how you would roll out a project or the project itself or just any type of collaboration was literally the final. It was it was pretty cool. It was pretty open. And what was really interesting. I had already had a group, and we had already finished the project. But my boy Zach, or Kaz is the stage name. Zach, the person he was working with, he had a track for him. The dude was gonna rap over it or sing over it, whatever. Ended up flaking on him. That dude didn't even finish the class, and Zach was about to be like out of luck. You know what I mean? And he was like, "Bro, like I know we're cool in class. Like I just know you from this class. Can you just do me a favor and be on this track for me?" I'm like, "Bro, I got you. It's good, bro. I wrote this song in like 30 minutes. One of the more like faster songs I've written but this was like." Around that time, you know, the first song I told you about, the one and only, this was like the next song I wrote down. So it was like number 2 or 3,
That's
right?
Fire.
And ended up getting it done. I sent him the memo back on my phone, bro. I didn't have I didn't have nothing, bro. And that's what we had for the class. And then from there, I was like, yo, this is actually like, whoa, this
pretty
is
good.
Cool.
It's pretty cool.
Nice. Like for what it is.
And
like,
he made the beat at that time.
Exactly.
Wow.
So he made the beat, and then so that's how I met Zach. And then in the same semester, I met Kai, who is a songwriting class, right? So you gotta present your song, you gotta sing it, right? And I just remember this dude, man. I love my boy, bro. He's huge, right? He's 6'5",
he's hella tall,
but
bro.
He's the most like
mellow,
bro. Super stealthy, and you know he comes up all humble and he plays this song. I'm like, bro, this is bro. Who is this guy,
bro?
He goes, yeah, I made this on GarageBand. The whole class is like, bro, what?
Bro.
Then he goes, yeah, I made it on GarageBand on my iPad. And we're like, bro, there's no way.
Bro got the talent to just piss you off. You know what I mean?
I was like, can you imagine? My bro was making songs with sticks and stones. Could you imagine if he had like,
everything at his disposal.
Right, and so just seeing his development. But bro, I remember seeing him for the first time. And you know how it goes. Like, as a singer, I'm like, constantly like judging, not judging, but I am.
Trust me, you're putting yourself up against
levels.
it,
exactly.
There's levels to it.
Bass players do it, guitar players do, we all do it just because we want to see where we're at, right? And I remember seeing him or hearing him sing, and I remember being like, "Yo, I might not be the best singer, but I don't know who it is."
He was, right before he sang, I was like, "I'm right here."
I was like, "Oh,
right here."
So. But then eventually I was like, when I talked to Zach, I was like, yo, there's this dude in this other class, like we should all try to do something together. And then Zach ended up approaching him, and before I even knew it, they were both at Zach's crib working on the track. I get a call from one of them. They're like, yo, come through right now, we're cooking. I was like, what? Because both of them are relatively introverted. And I'm like, I'm the extrovert of the group for sure. So I was like, for them to even have linked up without even me knowing, I was like, oh, let's go time. And so from there, like, we worked together for a cool, man. It was like 4 or 5 years. We dropped a few singles, and we dropped a project, full-length project. The end of 2023, beginning of 2024. I can't remember. That's crazy.
I think it might have been 2023.
Yeah.
I think that's my guess.
Yeah. But taking a little hiatus at the moment. But man, we're working on some solo stuff. We'll see what happens.
And how was that? Cause like, bro, I literally have a group background as well, right? And then like a solo background. So like, how has the progression been of like music and mentally? Cause like for me, I think every single song that I would say that I made within a group was not necessarily individual to me. Right. It was more of like literally the vibe. Whatever the vibe was that was created in that studio was what was produced, but it wasn't necessarily my own personal vibe. It was like whatever we created. So if we on some old school stuff, if it's an old school vibe, we're sitting back, it's like vinyls, all right, soul tape. You know what I mean?
Right.
If we're both like struggling in this music thing, all right, we're gonna make a song called Miracle. You know what I mean? So it's like, how has that progression been solo dolo? What do you think is the little different intricacies of like the solo writing rather than it being like a group?
Yeah, I think there's pros and cons to both, like everything, right? There's pros and cons to it. So like kind of how I was saying earlier, in a group you kind of get that you get the confidence from your group mates that like maybe there's something you're not sure about that you've written, but they're like, nah, bro, you're tripping, that's fire, and like that's cool. Whereas, but sometimes it can get tough, right? If I have something that I think is really dope and they are necessarily rocking with it, I had to take that into account, like the fact that I'm in a group, right? Like we all can't have it our own way, you know what I mean? So I think we had a conversation earlier too, like doing what's best for the song.
For the song itself, yeah.
And as artists, there's a lot of ego attached to your creation, right? You literally, earlier we call it like our babies, bro. These songs are like, and these projects and these ideas are, you know, they're us. You know, we're so tied up in it with the ego thing, and it gets really tough. Or at least it can be tough to let go and detach and be like, hey, like maybe this song can go in this direction. Maybe I don't have, you know, the best idea or what have you, or, you know, because at the end of the day too, the other thing is like I go back on other songs and August Nights, for example, it didn't necessarily go this way, but it took me a while writing the hook for it. The hook I have now, I actually really enjoy it, but I had a whole different other hook I was trying to do before. I found a demo of it. And I was like, dude, I forgot this even existed. Like, I'm sure there's so many songs that we have together where,
for sure,
in the moment, I was like, it has to be my hook, right? And like, I've totally forgotten about them. You know what I mean? So, just kind of also realizing that, in the long term, like, it's not gonna matter.
Yeah, it's not gonna matter. And there's so many more songs to write.
Exactly.
It's not the only one.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, I could always go and do my own solo shit anyway, right? I can tuck that idea, work it into something else. Like, it's never. The world is ending if we don't agree. But it's funny, that's why we call ourselves the hive mind, because a lot of our ideas, like one of us would say something, the other two was like, yo, I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, this is exactly the direction I was thinking. So that's why we call ourselves the hive mind.
That's fine. So basically, like in my own words, you call yourselves the hive mind because it's like always some kind of, it's like same planet, different streets. You know what I mean? You're always in the same world though.
Yeah.
Always in the same world.
Right. It's like the same words, different font. Right.
I like that. Different font.
Exactly.
So, I guess I have a question about the writing process, right? So in a group, especially if you got the 2-man strong, you always know that they're coming on second verse or first verse, right?
Right.
When it comes down to like the solo stuff, do you feel like that made it harder to like make 2 verses, or do you feel like you just write more?
I think for me, it all really depends. Sometimes, even in a group setting, sometimes I have a problem getting one verse off. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm just not feeling it that day. Like I'm inspired to write. I'm rocking with whatever sonics we're listening to at the moment. And other times, like everything is just flowing. Yeah, for me, I think it really depends. I think, but for me, I don't think solo versus group setting. No, I can't say that it doesn't make a difference. It definitely does make a difference. I think it might be easier. It really just depends. I'll be honest, it really just depends. But there are some group situations where sometimes, like, I'll be honest, sometimes I'll get frustrated because I do think the people around me are cooking, and if I'm not, for whatever reason, I'm not in the flow state, it can get really frustrating. But I just chalk it up to it's always gonna be another studio session. Like nobody shoots for 100% from the field every night, bro. Like,
so what do you think is the flow state? How do you think you tap into it? Like if you were to just like think about the different times that you've like been out there, or even just been yourself, what do you think is like the little differences of like when you're flowing versus when it may be a little forced, but you're just trying to vibe still?
Yeah, I think, dang, that's a really interesting question. I've never thought about it like in the context like musically. I think playing sports, that's an easier question for me to answer, right? Like it's very physical. Well, I think its artistry is very like heady and it's very like feeling based. So I think that's probably what my answer would be like. I have this one song called "I Don't Know How to Love" on my newest project. And I remember writing that, and it dude, what I was going through at the time, I was so upset about it that I was at work, bro, and I was just in the notes app just churning bars, bro. I mean, dude. And it's funny because that verse came out really aggressive, like the emotion that I was feeling, but I didn't have to think about it. And so I think leading into the emotion is probably the way to enter that flow state, artistically for me at least.
Yeah, just like letting yourself fall into the emotion.
And just feeling it, yeah.
Wow. And when you're making a verse, do you continue to play the beat over and over again?
Yeah,
or does it get silent and then you keep going?
No, so for me, I have to
You gotta hear it.
I'm like, bro, I'm trying to put the headphones on.
Yeah,
I was at work with the AirPods on, bro. I'm like, I wasn't doing shit that day. Except making the verse, right? But for me, yeah, I'm like, I have to listen to it on repeat because also the way I write is, it's tough for me to like, the same way I record, I don't really punch in. I personally like to do it all just because I want to make sure the whole thing is smooth.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, and not to say that punching in or
isn't smooth.
Yeah, but that's
trust me, I understand because, bro, if you go outside, bro, you got to perform that.
Right.
If you didn't do it all in one take and you're so used to punching in, I feel like it would be exhausting to even figure out how to do it all in one take when you never did it in one take. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, so it definitely, in that regard. And also that's why I like to play the beat over and loop because like as I'm writing, I'll start from the beginning and do the whole thing just to hear the last bar. So like if I'm 12 bars in and I'm on 13 and 14, I'll do the whole thing in my head just to see how 13 and 14 land with everything else. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So yeah, sometimes even a little tedious that way, but other times it's all going crazy.
It'd be so funny sometimes when like I'm trying to write a second verse, but since I know how the beat lines up with the first verse and the chorus, I do the entire thing until I get to the second half. Yeah. It's so funny, like and then after I do it like probably like 50 to 70 times, then I'll realize like, wait a minute, I could just start wherever the beat is and just write a second verse and then keep flowing and then do it all together. But it's like you get so stuck in knowing how it's going to sound.
Right.
Like I feel like there's so many specifics and intricacies. But speaking of writing and stuff, we have finally linked, started doing a little something. Can't give the people too much. But I do want to talk about the timing.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about the timing. So for me, long story short, just got out of my own group, and it for me it was all love. I feel like it was like one of those like everyone is really just ready to soar in their own way.
Right.
And like when I look back and I look at everybody's like different situations now, I'm just like such a beautiful experience to have worked with such incredible people. And so I'm fresh out. I'm like, I can do whatever I want, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so what I do is I link with some people that I was working with at the time, and we create like a showcase, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking of every single person who's like impacted my musical journey. So I'm like, gotta get the hive mind. Gotta get the hive mind. I hit you up, I think immediately, like as soon as I even talked to them about making a showcase, I hit you up like first. I hit up that boy KD because I was like, bro, it would just be incredible. It would just be incredible to see all these different people working together. And then the DJ who also threw the show with me, it was like a co-team. He already had 2 artists. Right. So we already had, you know what I'm saying? And then I think I hit Tree like last minute. He was like, I'm down. Bro, no questions asked, bro. And it was just like so dope because it was like almost every person who performed there was like a real impact on like the journey. Like literally, bro. Literally. So it was like incredible. And then it's so funny how like that was such a great thing. And then I just fell off the face of the earth literally right after that. So I wanted to see your perspective because like what they don't know and what we've talked off camera is just insane of the timing. So how did you
Get back. Well, it's funny because that show that you're talking about, the one I performed at, that you hosted was one of the last musical things I had done as well. And recently you helped me out with my NPR Tiny Desk submission. Yeah. And it was just funny, like, when you walked through the door, I was like, man, like, you know how it goes. We haven't seen each other in a little
long
bit.
time, yeah.
And, you were curious what I was doing musically. I was curious what you were doing musically. Come to find out, that last show was both our last.
Bro, like, mind you, like, what was that, like, over a year?
Yeah, it was in February 2024, so.
Bro, so, like, exactly a year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wild. And I think people kind of looked at each other like, damn, you paused with the music? Like, it's almost like, you know what I mean? Like, we couldn't even imagine that the other would take a break from it. You know what I mean? And it's just funny how like personally you can feel a certain way about yourself and feel like maybe this, not that it's not worth it, but maybe I want to focus elsewhere here. Like I could go without doing this for a little bit, whereas other people like they see you or I, and they're like, how could you ever? Like you have such a gift, you have such a spark with it, you have such a way about yourself when you're in that space. Like people when they see us, they can't even fathom. Like I couldn't fathom you taking a break. You couldn't fathom what I had.
I couldn't even understand it. And bro, I even went to the extent, I don't know what podcast episode it was, but I even went to the extent of like declaring that I was done. So like even in the episodes of this it's documented, bro. I literally like, I don't know, man. I just felt like I was down and out. Like, I'm in a different place in my life. And, I'm just ready to move forward. And, like, I just had, like, a lot of excuses on, like, why I should, like, not be doing it. But I don't know. I really think it's just a mixture of, like, self-sabotage, pain from, like, just, like, every experience. And, like, just, I don't even know, bro. But it was crazy, bro, because I had already gotten like inquiries in a way like during that time space, and I would say yes, but then I'd be kind of flaky, right? And then boom, you hit me, bro, and you were like, the first person that I thought of when I thought about a bass player was you, and I'm thinking to myself, mind you, I have not touched the bass in like over a year, bro. I don't even know how I play, I don't know how I sound, but it was just crazy because when you said you were the first person I thought about, I was like, wow, think about the version of yourself that other people know, right? Just like you were saying how I couldn't fathom that you would stop. The version that I know, bro, always a spark, bro. When you meet him, bro, he's ready to freaking go, bro. All times, bro. He's loud, he's ready, and he's impactful, bro, and he's confident. So it's like to see you in a different lighting of like, I'm more chilling. I'm doing my like day-to-day 9 to 5 shit, like 9 to 5. You know who you are, bro? What you talking about, dog? No, it was crazy, bro. But it was cool to like almost be reminded of who you are.
Yeah, right.
It was almost a reminder.
I
forgot that there was a version of me who played bass in front of like hundreds to thousands of people.
Right.
Like literally, I don't think about that kind of stuff because on my day to day, bro, I'm rolling cookies and I'm delivering and I'm scaling dough. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so it's just so funny to even think about these different versions, bro. But I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Because, bro, when I tell you I locked in after that, bro, and then we've had like what 2 to 3 back-to-back 5 a.m. sessions, bro.
Yeah, man, we're just making music and just talking about life, and I think that's the crazy part too. Is like a lot of times it's so tied with just like releasing those emotions. Like there's so much suppression that goes on in the 9 to 5, in the just the beat down of life. Let's be honest, it can beat you down sometimes. And it's so funny how in both of those sessions, like I got truly reminded. I'm like, bro, I haven't laughed that hard,
bro.
in so long, bro. And like and a lot of those conversations leak into the music. You know what I mean? And vice versa. A lot of the music leaks into, damn, I said this on the track, man, now we're talking about it after we recorded, and I didn't even realize why I wrote that at the time, but whoa, like it's finally all coming together. And so, just having that is like, that's why it's necessary. You know what I mean? That's why we got to keep going, man.
I'm not going to lie, bro. Like, I have to stay locked in now, like, after that. And then even these songs that we've made, bro, like, just the realness that I've been able to get with the bars, because it's one thing to like, like you may have a talent with words and being able to express, but it's another thing to like, as you continue to venture off and like grow and evolve and then come back with those bars, it's like, whoa, I could use what I've been using for like, not bullshit, but like things that may not stick to the chest. You know what I mean? Yeah. Things that might not be on my heart. Because I remember you told me something like, I don't even write a song unless like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel it in me. And I'm like, what? Like, what? I could write a song about, like, I could write a song about some bullshit, bro. I could write a song about iced tea, dude, and, like, try to, like, form it into a relationship. Like, I could write for somebody else, and I never went through it. So I feel like this was the new reinvention of, like, wait a minute. I could write about what I'm truly going through at this very moment and then put that out. And I think that, like, it's also interesting making songs, like, and having a vault, right?
Yeah.
And being past the vault.
Yeah.
Meaning like I've progressed personally and I'm not going through that. So it's always been hard for me to be like, oh yeah, but I should still put it out. And you gave me some good ass advice too on like, bro, you should still put it out there.
Yeah, because I mean, we talked about it's like I totally get it, and it's like it's that feeling where you're already through the emotion, you're already like, and you've heard the songs a million times, you made them, but I always remember having that feeling of it's been so long since I made it. Why would I put it out now? But then say the song is 5 years old, right? They're probably that age.
Oh yeah,
right?
for sure.
You put them out now, 10 years from now, they'll be out longer than they were in the vault.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But if you never put them out, then it's 15 years, and the longer you wait, the more of an excuse you have to not put them out. You know what I mean? So you just kind of got to close your eyes. It's about releasing it to the world. That's what I'm talking about, right?
Let go of that baby.
It's still yours right now.
Your baby about to be grown.
Yeah, bro. It's like, you gotta let it go.
Right.
You gotta let it go. But it's kind of weird. It's like, man, somebody had the analogy. I forget who said it, but it's like having a birthday party for like your birthday that already passed. You know what I mean? Like it feels strange, but like you would rather celebrate it for what it was than not acknowledge it at all. You know?
Yeah. That's crazy. Celebrating for a birthday that's already passed.
Yeah.
That's a crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know who said that, but shout out to them.
Yeah.
That's fire.
That's just what it feels like, though. It feels awkward. It does feel awkward.
It does definitely 100% feel awkward. But so I know how you're feeling now, and it's like that reinvention. It feels good to get back to self, all that stuff. But walk me through the progression of that year, though. It doesn't have to be like in specifics, but like what is like that internal battle of like that's keeping you away from something that somebody else sees in you that's so natural.
Yeah, a lot of it is man. A lot of it was just instability. A lot of it now, or at least recently, before getting back into the swing of things, was honestly excuses. I'll be honest.
Excuses, I'm not gonna lie. It's all me.
I can't hold you, bro. But yeah, beginning in 2024, I had a lot of change going on. Moved into this spot with Kai. First time I moved in a long time. So that was kind of a disruptor. I was between a bunch of different jobs. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Honestly, the job thing was huge because I stepped away from coaching. I've been a youth coach for a long time. Coaching swim for like 7 years, and there just wasn't any growth in it. I loved it. It was super rewarding for the work that I was doing. But
it's like, where do I go from there?
I'm in my mid-20s now. I need some bread. Like, this isn't gonna do it. At least at the time. And so I had to step away from that. That was really tough. That was tough emotionally too. Like, bro, I had to say, like the summer that I announced it, bro, I had like 5, 6, 7-year-old kids like coming to me like crying, like asking me not to leave because I had so much fun with them,
That's tough.
And high schoolers too. Like I like just all the kids on the team, man. It was crazy. So walking away from that was actually really tough. And then being at a job where I went from that to physical security for a little bit, and I was just posted on my feet 8 hours a day doing nothing. And like, so going from like that hyperactive, fun summertime, that was my job. It was a blast. Going from that to that, like, was really tough. Yeah.
And you're like a personable person.
Man,
it's just crazy to pick a job.
Hell, bro. I was cooking, bro.
And then pick the job where you like 100% can't thrive as like all of you.
Yeah.
It's just like you and your headphones for real.
Yeah, and luckily that was a blessing in disguise because where I was at the time was I was stationed in an Apple store, and I got to know everybody there, and Apple ended up hiring me, so now it's way cooler. So at the time I was a little hot, but I kind of knew that was a possibility down the line, so I was like, let me just stick it out.
Smart.
And I'm working there. But even that was a whole other transition in the middle of the summer, this past summer. And then yeah, man, I got a girl now, which is crazy because the past few years I've been solo dolo, not really taking anything seriously. Just focused on my gym grind a lot for sure. Focused on getting to this spot. Focused on just focused on myself. And so that's a whole other you know how it goes. It's a whole other like commitment just with my time, with my energy. But obviously I want to give the best version of myself that I can to her, but at the same time remaining true to what I need to focus on. You know what I mean? Woo! And so it's just not enough hours in the day. And so the first thing, unfortunately, that had to, well, it wasn't the first thing, but one of the things at the time I felt I had to go was the music, just so I could realign
What's up?
everything else. Yeah, but I can't even hold you, bro. I'm still like, like all of us, bro. There's still hours in the day where I'm scrolling that I could be writing or I could be recording. So I'm still, but I'm not perfect, right?
Yeah.
But I'm still gradually refining it. And honestly, Sophie is a blessing as well, bro, because she pushed me to do that. The NPR
That Tiny Desk, bro. I'm telling you, bro. That changed it all, bro.
Yeah.
It's like when God sends you like angels, or like not even angels. Sometimes God just speaks through people.
Yeah.
Like He can use anybody and be like, hey, yo, no, you really should.
Right.
You really, why not? You know what I mean?
And that's exactly the approach we took to it, because it's like, listen, do I think I'm finna win this shit? I'll be honest with you, probably not. But which is crazy for me to say, because I'm super competitive.
Dude.
But like that was the vibe. It was like, what have anything to lose? You know what I mean? I'm gonna see some people I haven't seen in forever. We're gonna get some music out there. I still need to chop up some of the footage and make reels and shorts out of it. But yeah, just be able to get in that groove. And if that didn't happen, like we're not sitting here right now.
Exactly.
You know, we don't have the songs we just made the past couple weeks. And so yeah, super. She's been a super blessing, bro. It's been crazy.
Nah, it's also crazy to see like from one decision the domino effect. Because mind you, what if I said no?
Yeah.
Mind you, I was literally at like a friend's party or something, and I was like taking a couple drinks, and I was literally walking into their crib, about to kick it and chill, and then I literally listened to your, because I think you said a voice memo. So I was listening, and I was like, for real? I was like, damn. I went home immediately, bro.
Wow.
I swear, bro. I went home immediately.
Wow,
bro. I walked in there and I went home immediately just because it was like, wow, like I have something to like look forward to.
Yeah.
Like I could literally lock in. I could lock in, bro. I could lock in.
Dude, I think that's the craziest part, like, of like dudes of our generation and younger, is like just having someone give you the permission or the opportunity to lock in. You know what I mean? There's so many distractions out in the world, dude. You know how many kids I know, the kids that I work with, bro, I'm gonna keep it a buck, and it makes me sad. Just like that are addicted to sports betting is a crazy epidemic.
Oh man,
the nicotine, bro.
Bro, vapes.
And just like chasing shorties. Like I get it, bro, but it's like, dude, there's just so much. Like, dude, Instagram is crazy now. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Like I couldn't imagine, being any younger and trying to lock in and focus and just having something to lock in on. I feel like that's one of the core tenets of being a man is like just putting in work. You know what I mean? And just having, like you said, the fact that you literally turned around and walked out and was like, whoa, I'm actually looking forward to putting in this work. Yeah.
And it was crazy because like looking forward, I think that within that entire year, I forgot what it was like to look forward to something. And like, I know it sounds so depressing, but like, I'm just keeping it 1,000%, bro. Because like, when I did that show, I was looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Promo.
Yeah.
Hitting up so many people, seeing if it was good. Oh, hey Brandon, are you good? So you are free. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what do you need? Like,
bro, okay, how much is this gonna cost? Oh, we're gonna do drinks. Okay, wait, can we sell alcohol there? we need a permit, so there's a way to get it. Bro, right. There was so many things that was like, so many intricacies, and then when I seen how many people came, I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. Yeah. After that, dude, after that, it was cooks, bro. Like, I literally just did not see what was next. And I think that, like, when you're in alignment, right, with what you're supposed to be doing, it's almost like maybe you might not be able to see the fourth step, but you can see the third step. You might not be able to see the third step, but you can see the second step. If you can't see the second step, at least you can see the next step.
What's right in front of you.
Bro, I feel like there was a crazy fog, you know what I mean? Heavy. I don't know what kind of fog it was, you feel me? I'm still trying to internalize that. Hopefully it comes out on that project, you know what I mean?
Facts,
but yeah, I think that was a crazy fog, bro, and not seeing what was next. So when you did that, I actually was able to visualize.
Some of the fog was lifted, yeah.
Bro, at least enough, but fog.
Yeah, that's hard. Come on,
Hey,
we'll keep that
can't give you too much. Can't give you too much. But nah. But that is crazy though, because it was like I could finally see what was next, bro.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was like, wait, so you want to do a studio session? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was like I could see what could possibly be next. And now you said, oh, we could go record him here. I haven't even visualized being inside of these places for a long time. So just visualizing first, bro, it's been incredible, bro. So yeah, shout out this experience for real.
Yeah, it's a trip. It's a trip. I think it's really interesting how, just not being able to see the next step is a really interesting concept.
Yeah.
And not looking, man, when you said you haven't been able to look forward to something for a while, I felt that.
Yeah, just like knowing, because like if you do something for a long enough time, right, regardless of whatever it is, it kind of tends to become mundane.
It's not exciting anymore.
Right? So when something is not exciting and you are not plugging yourself into other sources of energy, you're going to have the same battery. And if you don't recharge them batteries, dog, then you're about to go to work, or whenever somebody hits you up about work or if this is that, you just get off your pivot. And even if work is important, right? Even if you could thrive at your job, even if you could be incredible at your job, even without you unplugging from or plugging into different sources, even you at your job is not at optimal level. So I feel like that is what I really needed to focus on. It was like, wait a minute, the stuff that I'm doing on a day-to-day is more draining my energy rather than like plugging me up. So now when I go to work, I am lit, bro. Like I feel like I'm back to like a certain, you know what I'm saying? Bravado, a certain
charisma.
Yeah, and I'm like, dang, I know the stuff that's naturally in me is not, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm letting it, you know what I mean, exude rather than being so like bottled up. Yeah, I know. I'll be reading books sometimes. I'll be reading books. It ain't no 5 syllables. Somebody on here can't spell it. Somebody on here can't spell it.
Right before you said exude, I was like, bro, please say exude.
Yeah, come on, bro.
But it's a trip how, man, you be walking into work man, like y'all see me like this, but y'all have no idea what I really can do. That's the part that's once you're locked in on that, on the it's almost like an alter ego. Like once you're in on that, it leaks into how you act in everyday life, man. Just because I totally get that feeling of just, man, we all had days where we go to work, and great, there's some people who love their job and that's their thing, that's cool. But if you're just at work like everybody else to get the check, and you know, obviously I'm not gonna be catting off. Like, I'm gonna try my best. But you know what I'm saying? Walking in, and we've all had days where like, bro, fuck this job.
Bro, that's how I feel at like old jobs. Like luckily now I'm at a place where like I love the environment and I love that what I'm doing is a small piece in something greater. Mm-hmm. It's fire because like there's meaning to it, and it's like family vibes, and it's like something that I can really thrive in. But I trust and believe, bro. I've been at jobs where I couldn't believe that I was doing this, bro. I remember one time I got a job for like a little minute, bro. It was so quick, but I was at a grocery store, bro. And I started like being all in. Like I was going hard, bro. And mind you, bro, I was getting the worst wage. Well, I got like bumped up like 3 or 4 times, bro, from like stalker to like being in the front and then driving a pallet jack. I was like, bro, what am I doing? Right. Why am I thriving here? Like, bro, I need to get with like what I'm supposed to be doing and like really focus up, you know what I mean? If you could thrive in such an interesting situation, then you could thrive in your own situation. I think that's always been interesting for me, is like knowing that you can thrive, right? But it's like putting yourself in the right situations so you can thrive for yourself. Right. I think that's a very interesting like change up of even with groups, right? It's like, oh, you know, I could thrive in this group and it was awesome. What would it look like if I did all this work for just me? That's a trip. And it's like, can I do it? Will I do it? Like, and I think the hardest part about those transitions for me is like your reason why doing things is so different when it transitions from like other things to solo dolo. Yeah,
and you beat me to it. I think that kind of ties into what I was thinking about with, you know, you saying all the energy you're putting into doing that show, right? And being able to look forward to something, or being able to look forward to putting the energy into your own craft. Both of those things, like that can be stressful too. Like putting on a show is very stressful. There's so many variables, right? But the reason we want to do it, the reason we are going to look forward to it, is because it's what we feel like we should be doing. It's a blast. You're bringing people together, And I think if you can, in your mind, keep the positives in front of you and just let the positives outweigh the stress of even that, but the stress of everything else going on in your life, if you just keep the positives in the forefront like that, it's almost like you're just falling forward to the next thing. Like you're not even really running, but you're just falling into, the good stuff. I'm like, let me just keep this in front of mine, and everything else, it'll be what it is.
It is, and I've realized that I truly am a natural optimist.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Like people, like I even had a life coaching venture.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Kind of why this podcast is here, because I had that life coaching venture, and like people, like I actually have a session right after this. You know what I mean? So it's dope to be like so semi-optimistic that like people want some of that optimism, right? Like, hold on, how do I turn it off? And it's funny because we had a conversation, bro. Whenever you're coaching somebody or telling somebody some good stuff, bro, you're really just projecting, bro. You're really just talking to you.
Man.
So now that but once I turned that on and like I was aware that I'm talking to me, it's like, dang, bro, like you have all these clients, right? And you want them to succeed and all these good things. But it's like in reality, bro, you want you to succeed.
Yeah.
So do it, bro.
Yeah.
Like do what you're telling these people, bro.
And once you realize that, it's a double whammy, because it's like, oh, I've had the answers the entire time,
bro. And you're like, that's the worst part, bro, because it's like, dang, now I have to be aware that I have the answers, and every day I have the answers.
And every day now is a choice.
Every day is the same choice, bro. Do I go crazy? Do I lock in? And now that I've been able to lock in with you for this small amount of time, I know the difference of when I'm not locked in.
Yeah.
So I can choose to re-lock in every damn day, bro.
I love it.
That shit is crazy, bro. But it's been fire though, because bro, no cap, I've been choosing to lock in for real. Yeah. And it's dope because it's fallen into other places of life, bro.
That's fire.
Like, bro, gym, working out. I just ate a turkey burger, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, bro, who am I, dog? Like, I don't even like turkey like that, big dog. You know, but nah, for real. If I'm locking in the damn gym or just in life, bro, then you can't do like 50% of the work.
You can't half-step it.
Even 20%, bro, because I hear eating is 80% of the damn work, and that's tragic, bro, because like that's the one part that I feel like is the hardest part. So that shit's hella funny. But if you were to like, now that you're at this version of yourself, and you had to say something to yourself a year ago, or even let's say you get off that stage, and TJ from right now, and you walk down those steps, it's just you and you, what would you encourage them to do so that you don't have like that? So it's like you already know what this year's gonna come with.
Yeah.
And you might not even want anything to necessarily change, because we're here now, right? But what would you say to them?
Man, I think it's a trip, just because, like in that scenario specifically, we talked earlier about how that performance that I had, I didn't think it was a bad performance, but I definitely was a little disappointed in the performance.
Which is crazy, by the way. I should leak some footage. You know, that performance was fire, dog.
Yeah, I got some footage on IG too. I'm in the Sade shirt.
Come on, bandana. Like, who is this man? Rough Rod, me.
But there are definitely some things I thought I could have done better, and part of that emotion leaked into one of my songs on my project, I Don't Know How to Love. But man, I just remember after that feeling, the bar that really that I put down from that experience was, oh my God, bruh. I'm under the lights. This is the shit that I love now, but sometimes the high just ain't worth the come down. I felt like I was chasing the high of being on stage and performing at a level that I can perform at, and not reaching it, and then, I got all of the come down without the high that I wanted. Wow. And it just, honestly, it made me really sad. There was some other stuff going on in my life too, that really kind of knocked me off my square. But I think what I would tell myself is like, yo, it's all temporary. Like, you just had to keep putting shots up. You just had to keep going back to the gym. You just had to keep, even if they turn the lights off in the damn gymnasium, bro, you can still hear that switch go through, once you finally hit it. So it's like, one game isn't gonna define you.
Wow.
Damn, that's a bar, bro. You feel me?
Nah, that's crazy.
One game isn't gonna define you. Damn, bro. We really do all have the answers deep inside.
I'm telling you, bro. I think, bro, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I love this podcast, bro, because it allowed me space to listen to other people find out their own answers. I just want to facilitate the right questions.
Yeah.
That's why, like, yeah.
Say that again. They missed that. They missed that. Say that again.
I got you. It's really just about like me talking to somebody and facilitating a real enough question to get somebody to find their own internal answer. Because like when we're outside the other night and we're talking, you were like, damn, I never thought about that. I thought I had all the answers and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow, like it truly is powerful to have conversations in which you could spark a question that somebody hasn't asked themselves.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean,
facts.
bro? Because like I be having conversations with people and they just say something that I'm just like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
I never even thought about it like that.
And it's like, but the crazy part is, it's like, it's not that you don't have the answer. Yeah. You have the answer the whole time, but you've never asked the question to bring the answer up. Bro. You know what I mean?
And that's why I love reading books, because I continuously get questioned about things that I've never even thought about poking the bear. You know what I mean, bro? Because like even right now I'm reading You Are a Badass, and it's really poking at certain facets of my life that I never really thought about, or that I'm conscious of but unconscious of. Right. And right now I'm reading about the conscious and subconscious mind, and how like our whole like since our frontal lobe is only developed at a certain point, there's actually another part of us that was already developed when we came out the get-go. So that means that part has way more weight, which is the subconscious, rather than right now where we're grown now, but that's grown now. We've always been something else prior to.
That's really interesting.
So it's like, dang, so if that's the case, we're like veterans at being whatever somebody programmed us to be. And we're like literally just getting into the game of like figuring out what we value, or not even that, of like we're just getting into the game of trying to unlearn.
Yeah, trying to deprogram or reprogram. Yeah.
So it's like, what an interesting place. Speaking of interesting places, what season? Let's bring it to like seasons of the actual year: spring, winter, fall. What season would you define yourself in right now, and what would you describe it as? Definitely
still, honestly, like I rock with the seasons, how they come. Like springtime, I definitely feel like it's just about to be spring, right? I think it's the end of March. I'm definitely still dormant at the moment. I can feel this is so corny, but I feel the sprouts.
But
that's a lot to the series of projects I'm trying to work on. So the first one was called Flower Child, and it was a reflection of the springtime. So I'm trying to drop. We'll see. We'll see if this happens. I always hate saying too much, but my goal is to drop 4 projects, and a lot of them. There's a lot of themes going on with all of them. One of the themes that ties them all together is how you feel throughout the seasons, right? And so that last one was springtime. I wanted to do them all back to back within a calendar year, bro, but that was a little overzealous. I can't hold you. But it's funny that you asked me that, because that feeling has been on my mind a lot, especially recently now that I'm diving back into music again, head first. But definitely still winter mode, like just super dormant. Even just like coming off of all last year, like that's all last year was in a lot of ways for me. It was the first summer where I wasn't coaching. That was really different for me. That was like I was inside all the time, bro. I am so Caucasian right now. It's crazy.
So I need a little bit of that sun. What?
You know what I'm saying? But in the summer, I'm so used to being like super, just sun drenched, just being outside, and just all that energy you get being outside. I missed a lot of that last year for the first time in my life. I've been doing swim since I was 5 years old. That's all I've known. Like my entire summer, I spent it outside. This year, felt like an adult for the first time. You know what I mean? In the summertime, really strange. Like literally 20 years, bro. 20 years of swimming.
Did you still swim in general during this?
Not like during when I was coaching.
Out of coaching.
Nah, no. I can't. A lot of it is a lot of it too is location based. So like when I was living at my mom's crib, the pool that I was coaching at and the pool I grew up swimming at is literally all around the corner, bro. Community pool. We got the key. You know what I mean?
Fire.
Like I'd be there, dude. I was there all day, every day. You know what I mean? But now that I'm just geographically in a different spot, also just mentally in a different spot, and like. Even if I was still living there, bro, it'd be so hard for me to go and see everybody like that and have them not want to pull me back into that world. That would be really hard too. You know what I mean? So I almost had to like super like
disconnect.
clean cut it off. You know what I mean? I went back and visited the past summer. You know what I mean? I wasn't just gonna ghost everybody, but it's definitely I couldn't go back in that way for sure. Even just to work out, even just to be there. So yeah, definitely, man. That's a heavy question. I think all of 2024 for me was, I can't even say all of 2024. Beginning of 2024, I dropped my project.
Exactly.
Man. So it's, I don't know. Mostly winter vibes. Probably the past few months for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think I would say same.
Yeah,
winter for sure. Winter for sure. But I feel like now it is like, okay, we planted seeds, right? Even prior to last year, there were seeds. I didn't necessarily know what watering the garden looked like, what using the right fertilizer was. It's almost like discovering that I actually do have a green thumb, and discovering, bro. And it's crazy that we're talking about this because what's this called? Botanical sanctuary. What's it called? Botanical sanctuary.
Shout out to KP,
bro. Shout out to KP, bro. So I feel the energy of all these plants, and I'm understanding where it's like, okay. All these plants did not start how they look now. Fact. And I don't know how long it took, you know what I mean? In a philosophical way, I don't know how long it took to get it to where it looks in here now. So I'm trying to take that same approach with my own life. You feel me? In this new season of like, okay, I know I'm coming out of a different season because something feels different. Yeah. So it's like with that different season, I have to figure out what more nutrients I need because whatever was serving me then isn't the same thing serving me now.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
So this has been an incredible conversation, but one last thing I would want to know is like, what do you feel like is just like the greatest piece of advice that you can continue to tell yourself, even right now? Yeah. You know what I mean? To keep yourself instilled. You know the different versions of you now. You're learning about all these different things. You're learning about like, when you feel unmotivated, when you feel motivated, when somebody's pushing you, when you need to push yourself. What do you think is just something that you could tell yourself and hopefully that transcends to the people about just being able to keep it pushing? Yeah.
The first two phrases that pop in my head when you say that is like, just keep going. And it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, just keep going, meaning like, bro, you just do it at Nike. You know what I mean?
Bro,
just do it, right? Like, it doesn't matter how you're feeling. Like that, and that's where it doesn't matter. Like,
shout out to Nike if you guys want to sponsor us.
Please. But yeah, it doesn't matter how you're feeling. You know what I mean? It's really funny the way that I've been so committed to the gym. Like, just talking with my gym homies. Like, the days that really make the difference and really keep you consistent are the days you don't feel like going. Because as soon as you miss one day that you have scheduled, it gives you that thought of like, oh, I can do another day. I can skip another day. You know what I mean? I can skip, and then it just leads into you not going for 3 months.
That
right?
domino effect.
Whereas even if you don't feel like going and you get, you walk in there for 10 minutes and walk out, at least you won. At least you can mark it off the checklist like, hey, I went to the gym today. You know what I mean? Even that's the battle. So like, at least for me, I'm like, bro, just keep going. It doesn't matter how you feel. I'm still not there yet, bro, but I need to wake up every day and at least consider my microphone and my MacBook is ready to go. And I have, at least like, if I'm not recording, at least get familiar and organized with what I have, what I want to attack. Every day I need to do that. So yeah, those two things. I'll just say, just keep going, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter what other people are thinking of you. And half the time, people don't give a fuck anyway.
Yeah. It's only you thinking for somebody else.
Imagine, bro, you're tripping, and I do this all the time, bro. I trip off of what I think people are gonna think. I'm tripping off something that doesn't even exist, bro.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Just do what you feel like you're supposed to be doing. Like just let it go. You know what I mean? Just let it go out to the world. You feel me?
That's the most beautiful way to end it.
Man, I appreciate you.
Got it. Peace.
Yeah.
Looking at my value, trying to check off these boxes. I know the old me couldn't have you.